Hello, you're watching Gen Z Unfiltered on TCSAN. Yes, I am not Gen Z. They will be back next week, but I'm filling in for them this week as well. Youth Link Calgary is a cutting edge police museum that also offers crime prevention education for youth and their parents. Today, I speak to Executive Director of YouthLink Calgary, Tara Robinson, and the YouthLink Ambassador, Grade 7 student Harveer Gill. They talk about the role that YouthLink is playing in community safety and the empowerment of the youth to make safe and informed decisions around crime related issues like gangs, drugs, and cyber safety. If you're a parent or youth, this is a show for you to watch. Please welcome YouthLink Executive Director Tara Robinson and YouthLink Ambassador Harveer Gill. Hi, Tara. Hi, Harveer.
Hi.
Thank you so much for making the time to talk to me today.
Oh, thank you for having us here and for highlighting Harveer. She's an exceptional young lady.
I am so excited to talk to you, Harveer, but I'm going to ask Tara some questions first, and then I'll come to you, all right? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for being here and being so patient as well. So Tara, I was at YouthLink inauguration in 2015, and it's been 6 years now, almost 6 years since the center opened in the Northeast. How has that experience been for the last few years? How long have you been with the YouthLink Center in the Northeast?
I've been here right from the very beginning. In fact, I helped to design this place. So it's been very exciting. And, you know, we've done some great work. It has grown by leaps and bounds in just the 5.5 years. And the new programs that we have brought on and all the relationships that we've created in the Calgary community and amongst other nonprofits and youth groups and all that sort of thing. It's really going gangbusters, and we're doing really good work, impacting lots of kids because we just want to keep families safe from crime, and we want to give them the strategies to do that. And we're all of our programs are geared toward that, so we're having great success.
I'm really excited to learn about all the programs. I know we don't have enough time to cover everything, but we'll try to briefly touch a little bit of everything. So what are the most pressing issues that you're seeing in the community and that you're informing and educating adults as well as youth on through YouthLink currently?
Well, right now during the pandemic, it's a little bit different than what we would see pre-pandemic. And right now, and I think Harveer will speak to this a little bit too, I think for especially the young people, we're concerned about their mental health, their isolation, and peer pressure. They're spending a lot of time alone, and when I say alone, away from their peers, because right now, Harveer is in grade 7 and she is not in school. She's at home learning, and as all of grade 7s to grade 12s are right now. So there's some added pressure there because when you're a kid, you know, it's tough to be a kid under normal circumstances, and when you're in a world pandemic, then that just adds to the challenges as well. So we are really focused on connecting with kids, connecting with teachers, offering them presentations, and we're talking about everything from mental health to online safety to cyber safety because predators know how to get at kids as well. But we're also talking about policing as well, and gang prevention and drug prevention and all that sort of thing. So we're talking to them about a lot of different issues, but there, as you know, that there are some key ones that always bubble up to the surface that are more prevalent than others. And right now that's mental health, peer pressure, and cyber safety.
Oh, absolutely. I know my daughter she's 9 years old and she's at home as well. And we have to consistently check on her. We have to check her internet history. We have to ask her questions, and we have to remind her constantly that if anyone talks to you online, please don't give any personal information out.
Yes.
It is high risk.
That's so important. And, you know, kids are so trusting, aren't they? And they think the best of everybody, and they think that the best of everything, and predators rely on that. So we go through the programs and we tell kids exactly what to look out for. We tell parents what to look out for as well, and what to do in cases that they may be a little bit suspicious.
What is the age group that you have the programming for?
We do grades 5 and 6. And the reasons that we do that is because we want to get at these kids and provide them with strategies and education before they get into that wonderful mystical world of junior high, when they're going to be surrounded by peer pressure, and they need to know the straight facts before they get to junior high, and they need to know how to deal with situations and confront situations that we know that they're going to be confronted with, like trying drugs. And we know that if you try a single hit of meth, you're going to be addicted just like that. And or what to do if you don't want to try cannabis, or because it's still illegal for youth, or what happens, how do you know what somebody is giving you. So we give them strategies as to how to get out of those situations in still really cool ways, so that they're not seen, so that they can deal with peer pressure. And we've got ways that they can secretly message their parents with certain codes, like "come get me." Because, for example, when it comes to drugs, it's not going to be somebody in a trench coat in a dark alley coming to offer you drugs. It's that your child is going to be at a friend's house, and somebody's going to come up to them and say, "Here, try this." And will they be equipped to deal with that situation when they want to look cool and be part of, their peer group? So we prepare them for that situation. That's why it's really important to get to them at the younger ages.
And I also think that impact is a lot more effective when it's coming from a place of authority like yourself, rather than a parent talking to the child. Of course, that parent-child relationship, you always need to build that relationship of trust at home as well. But I know, personally speaking, that if a place of authority, a police officer comes and talks to my daughter, she would listen to that a lot more than she would listen to me. And I've experienced that already, because I've seen her chat with some girl online who said that she was 11 years old, but we don't know that. It was someone
No.
she didn't know. And I sat her down and had this conversation with her. I said, "Listen, I've told you multiple times that you're not to talk to anybody you don't know online." "But Mama, she's only 11. She's a girl." So it's we had that
Yes.
conversation again, but it's not that they're purposely trying to flout the rules or whatever you tell them. It's just that age as well. Like, there's only so much that they understand and comprehend.
Of course, and they're so trusting, right? And you can't keep an eye on them, 100% of your time either. I mean, you're a busy woman, busy mom, busy career woman, and you just don't have enough. There isn't enough time in the day for you to be watching them every single moment. But that's also what we teach in our community crime prevention programs, which are geared towards parents. And we talk about parental controls, and we talk about privacy issues as well. So we educate kids, but we also educate parents, because we know that parents need to know what their kids are up to and what the dangers are for their kids too.
Let's talk to Harveer for a second. Hi, Harveer.
Hi.
Thank you for being so patient.
Yeah,
So you
you're welcome.
are the youth ambassador of YouthLink. How does that
Yeah.
feel?
So I feel super proud, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy that I can be a role model and I can give back to the community and help be a part of the solution.
And how did you get involved with YouthLink?
So I started off with summer camp after my sister went to Junior Police Academy, and it just looked like a lot of fun, but I hadn't met the age requirements yet, so that's where I started off.
When was that? What grade was that? You're in grade 7 now, but what grade
Yes.
were you in when you first started?
I believe that was grade 4.
So what was the process for you, like, to get to become an ambassador? So for the last 3 years, how was the
Yeah.
process?
So basically, YouthLink approached me after I went to the summer camps 4 4 times. And since I embody the values like inclusivity and empathy, so with a unanimous vote, I was chosen.
Oh,
May I just add to that, because Harveer is being very modest right now. And Harveer came to our summer camp and she earned the Future Chiefs Award every single time that she was here. And that is because she demonstrated leadership. She was just so great with all ages and with all officers and all civilians and all parents, and she was just always learning, and she was just the model of youth in Calgary today. She's just very special.
oh. It's lovely to hear. So Harveer, what does an ambassador do?
My role as a youth ambassador includes spreading awareness about important issues that affect youth and giving a youth perspective. It's not only that, but it's also creating a connection and a bridge between CPS and the youth so that we all can work together. Because sometimes when people see a police car, they often assume that it's because there's a problem going on or there's something happening. But in most cases, that's not exactly what's happening, and there's not always something that's wrong. So my role is to help you have a better understanding of police officers and their jobs, and to help officers have a better understanding about you.
Harveer brought a very important point there, where you talked about people being afraid of police cars, and there is this sense of distrust as well in especially in marginalized communities, and we've experienced it growing up. So it's important to address that. I'm going to ask you, Tara. In February 2021, this year, CPS instituted a Calgary Police Service Anti-Racism Committee. So does YouthLink have something similar, like perhaps a diversity training program where there's some sort of work is done that's necessary to shift towards a more inclusive and anti-racist society and provide accessibility to police services for marginalized communities?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are very fortunate, YouthLink, that we are included in everything that Calgary Police Service does. So we are included we are included in all of the benefits of that committee and that training. So our team would also be taking that training as well. And as a result of that, we want to help as an organization, as a YouthLink organization, we want to help fill the gaps. So we've created new programs to help identify and to address those. So for example, we, instead of closing down during the pandemic, we are live streaming into school classrooms. And one of the new programs that we have is called Ask the Police. So any school in Calgary, and we have them we have them registered from all over every quadrant of the city, and we beam into their classrooms through technology, and it is a live question and answer where the kids can ask the police officers anything on their minds. It can be about racism, it can be about use of force, it could be about training, it could be about how they deal with calls or how they approach certain things, and it's really wonderful, and the kids are asking some great questions. And this is one of the reasons why Harveer was chosen as our ambassador, because last year during summer camps, and Harveer, you remember this, it was when the Black Lives Matter protests were taking place in Calgary, and Harveer was the first one in our summer camps to ask our police officers about what they thought of the Black Lives Matter movement and what they're doing to address the situation. And she just recently, that from her question, because she had the courage, because that can be kind of scary, but she had the courage to do that, and it opened up conversation for everybody else in the room. It was a wonderful moment, but it was also because of that we have started a new Ask the Chief series on social media. So Harveer was our first one up, and we videoed her and accessed straight to the top of the organization, to the chief of police. And Harveer asked the chief, what are you doing about Black Lives Matter? And if you go to our social media, you can see Harveer asking that question. So that whole idea was born out of her asking those questions at summer camp.
Yeah, I thought that was quite neat because I did see that video, and I will put the link of that video in the caption for those of you who haven't seen it. What kind of programming do you offer? Let's talk a little bit. I know you mentioned Camp Harveer. So Tara, can you briefly provide an overview of all the programming that you offer, and how can parents and children engage with those programs?
Sure, would love to. So we run school programs. Those are our signature school programs, and they're crime prevention and forensics. So in our school programs, we deal with gang prevention, drug prevention, healthy relationships, bullying, and cyber safety. And we get to have lots of fun with forensics as well. Who doesn't want to dive in and do forensics? So, and then we do all of those for adults and families. So we do gang prevention, drugs, cyber safety, all for parents, so that they can have an idea as to how to protect their kids and the strategies as to how to keep their kids safe. And then we have lots of fun. We're open to the public, so people can come in here when we're allowed to open during the pandemic. They can come in here and do all kinds of things in the center. We've got a virtual ride along with the Hawks helicopter. You can get inside a police car. You can solve crimes. You can go on scavenger hunts. We've got birthday parties, solve the crime by cake time. And we've got summer camps, which is especially where we first met Harveer. And summer camps, which are week-long camps. And they're a lot of fun for the youth as well. And that's when you get up close and personal with police officers, and you learn how to investigate crimes and that sort of thing. We also have a very special program called Police School, and that's a week-long program that is taught by uniformed police officers. And these are kids who might not have a great perception of Calgary police, or they might come from areas of the city that may be a little bit more vulnerable. And we bring them in for a week-long program. And at first, some of them might be a little bit hesitant to be at a police center, but by the end of the week, they're hugging the officers, and they are having just a great time here, because our whole goal is to reduce barriers and build trusting relationships. And we want kids to know that if you see a police officer walking down the street, they're there for you if you're in trouble. You don't run away from them. They want to help you. And it doesn't matter what age you are or anything like that. They are, I think if you talk to any officer, if they have a chance to help a child, then that is then that is the best kind of help that they can provide. So that's what we try to do. We try to take the fear out of the uniform.
And what are the metrics that you use to measure the effectiveness of the program?
We pre and post test everything, and we take surveys, and the most, so we know that, for example, I believe it's 76% of youth and 83% of adults have indicated that they have a better perception of Calgary police as a result of their visit to YouthLink. And here we lift the veil on Calgary police, and we show you what they do and why they do it. But we're also teaming up with the University of Calgary, and they're going to be coming in and doing impact studies on us as well.
Can you share one impact story before I go back to Harveer?
Yes. In our police school, and that's the school where we like to connect with kids for a whole week. They come back every day for a whole week, and we're taking the kids through our gang exhibit. And what we talk about in there is the recruiting techniques of a gang, because it doesn't matter whether it's Hells Angels, whether it's ISIS, whether it's a local gang in Calgary, all the recruiting techniques are the same. And after we did some role playing, and we did some some games because we are some games in there because we try to make it really interactive for the youth. And as a result of the time in that gang exhibit, there was a grade 5 boy who approached one of our police officers and said, "I think that's happening to me." And sure enough, he was in the process of being recruited by a gang, and because of his older brother's associates. And so we stepped in and we investigated. We got help from Calgary Police, and we went in and we investigated, and sure enough, and we got him help, and we touched base with his teacher the other day, as a matter of fact, and he is now in junior high. This was when he was in grade 5. He's now in junior high, and he's doing really, really well, because we know that if a youth makes one bad decision, it could change the trajectory of their entire life. So if we can step in, if we see something going wrong, or a child making a bad decision, we can step in and hopefully help support them, and the officers will be there to help support. And if they can stay through school and graduate high school without going down that other path, they have a far greater chance of success in this life and being leaders of tomorrow. And that's what we want for every youth, because they all deserve that.
And how do they register for your programs, especially the summer programs they're coming up?
Registration's open now, and you just go online at YouthLinkCalgary.com, and that's how we got to know Harveer.
Coming back to Harveer, thank you again for your patience. I thanked you like 3 times for it, but all right. I understand that you want to be a journalist, Harveer.
Yes.
How does your association with YouthLink contribute to your career goals?
I'd say they relate because my role as an ambassador and as a member of the Youth Advisory Board helps me with my confidence and my oral and written skills, and especially with delivering a message clearly and working with people.
Okay, so what would your message to be other kids about YouthLink?
So I'd say that YouthLink helps just build relationships between youth and police, because as Tara mentioned, all they really want is to help. And some programs like the Cadet Corps and Junior Police Academy provide youth more information about police officers' job, if they are interested in a job like an officer, or if they want to be an officer. And they also have the summer camps, like Tara mentioned, that are a lot of fun, and where kids learn facts about the CPS and police and the forensics unit. And they have great leaders, and any of their questions about the police are answered. So
thank you. I can listen to you all day, Harveer.
Thank you.
Thank you both of you for your time today. I know we have barely scratched the surface of all the work that you do. I've been to the facility once, like I said, but I need to go back in again. And yes, the forensics unit is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's amazing. So for audiences watching, if you haven't gone to YouthLink Center yet, when it opens, please do go and do check out their website and register for their programs, because they are providing the programming virtually. So do check that out. So thank you so much, Tara, and thank you so much, Harveer. I know I will be getting back in touch with you, and we will be talking about other issues in the months coming.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to speak with you, and it's so great to see how great Harveer is doing as well as our youth ambassador.